everyone, welcome to YourPedia. This is Shubhya. So today, as you all know, that we have gathered in IIT Mandi and we got a chance to talk to two of the renowned professors of IIT Mandi. I'm going to introduce you one by one. First, I'm going to introduce you to Professor Ravindra Arora. He is the senior most professor in IIT Mandi and is the visiting professor over here. And second is we have with us Dr. Bharat Singh Rajpurohit, and he has got his interest area in electric machines and drives, and he has been working here since last number of years. Sir has got, Dr. Ravindra Arora has got his interest in high voltage area. So I'll be focusing first on Dr. Ravindra Arora, and then I'll be coming one-on-one discussion will be there. So sir, thank you for giving us a chance to talk to you on this platform.
You're welcome.
Okay, so sir, as I want to like to mention you some of the traits of yours that you have been into IIT Mandi, like as a visiting professor right now. And your background, if we talk about your background, you have been earlier in IIT Kanpur, you have been serving over there. And then you worked after your retirement in IIT, you just went to Jodhpur, and now you're in IIT Mandi. So what is all that academic and research journey that our students would like to know about it?
I'm basically from power systems and oriented towards high voltage engineering. And in IIT Kanpur, I established a high voltage lab, and it took me some time to establish that. And once it was established, I could do a lot of practical research work. In high voltage engineering, practical research work is very important. And yeah, that is how Bharat was also one of my students in my class there, and then I could write a number of papers, a number of books all throughout.
So you have a beautiful student-mentor relationship also, right?
Yes.
Great. So, sir, you want to tell about like after you were into serving your IIT Jodhpur and all, so that journey background, and after that you shifted somewhere, or you directly went to your retirement area and then you covered over IIT this Monday you came over here.
Yeah, when I retired, immediately after that, number of IITs came up.
Okay.
From 2009 onwards. Till that time, there was only 7, 8 IITs, but the number swelled and there was depth of faculty. So I was requested by many of my students. For example, even in IIT Jodhpur, the director at that time was my student, Dr. Prem Kala. He wanted me to be there, and I went there 2.5 years. I started teaching the basic electrical engineering. I started teaching there the high voltage engineering, and the same courses I have been teaching here in IIT Mandi since 2015.
Okay, great. So I would like to mention that sir and Bharat sir, both they have written lots of books. So I would like to show it out. We have this Fundamentals of High Voltage Engineering. This has been the compilation of Ravindra Arora and Bharat Singh Rajput. So both the professors, they have, when did you start writing this book, sir?
In 2017.
2017. And it got completed and published
in 19.
So it's like 2-year whole journey you invested, more than 2 years you invested.
Years.
Okay. And now I'm coming to the second one. This
is my first book.
This is first book of Professor Ravindra Arora.
1995.
Great.
And it is still in demand.
Oh, wow, nice.
It's still being sold.
So our students would cherish to see the book. This is High Voltage Insulation Engineering. And this was the first book this was written by sir. In 1995, it was published, right?
Yeah.
And how long did this book took you?
Oh, this book took something like to get published 8 years, and for this book I went to Germany to write the book and remain there for almost 10 months.
Our first are always the special ones of
Yes,
life, right?
yeah,
So that is true, that this would be the special and always a cherishable moment for you. And this is also written by sir. This is High Voltage and Electrical Insulation Engineering. This is by sir, other press and all that?
This is published by IIIE USA.
USA, okay. And this was published
in 19. This is no, sorry. This is second edition.
This is second
of
edition.
The book,
okay, this was the first.
2011. Another book is not here.
Okay.
And this came up last year
Okay.
in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
the
Okay.
second edition.
Any other book would you like to mention that you have written? You were telling that
Besides that, first edition.
first edition is also there. Okay, so that is also available in the market and all.
Oh yes, very
Yeah.
much.
So Go and Mastery.
That was also published in USA.
Okay, great. Okay, so sir, tell me about something about the books that is common and all that. That what students need to know about these books.
Yeah, yeah. See, because I did my PhD from TU Dresden, and the hybrid engineering department is very well known over there. They have very typical uh, development, very unique development, I would say, in this field, which was not available in English-speaking world.
Okay.
So my book was the first book which could bring out the concept and the theory and the thinking about the high voltage engineering developed in Germany to the English speaking world. So that is what I am trying to persuade, because I am 100% convinced that that is a better approach to the subject.
Okay. And so when did you plan? Like this book is the first one of yours, right?
Oh, this
So
was
when did
first
you
book.
plan? I would like to talk about your first book. Like
Yeah,
how was the idea and all that arose in your mind?
I've written with my professor as co-author, Professor Wolfgang Mosch,
Okay.
under whom I did my PhD.
PhD.
And I finished my PhD in 1973. And Professor Mosch visited me in Kanpur in somewhere in 82, 83. Twice he came. And then we were discussing about, and I was saying that the thinking, the way I teach what I learned in Germany is not available in English. Then he said, why don't we write?
Yeah.
And that is how the seed was sown in 1982, and the book came up in 1995.
Some remarkable words from your mentor, and that made you write it
Exactly.
out, right?
That is how I went there. I used to write, he used to check, we used to work together, came back, got it published in India. He wanted it to be published in India.
Okay. So let's talk about student-mentor relationship, the beautiful relationship you both carry, and this book. So how this book? Tell us something about this book also. Both of you comment.
Okay.
So when I have joined at IIT Mandi in 2010, then there was a very few faculty members, and we need to offer courses for our masters and PhD student. So suddenly, then I realized that we need to offer those courses which are advanced, and we are also compatible with that. So then, obviously, we took a resort in offering few courses which we have done ourselves. So then I start offering the high voltage engineering course. During this process, we have then invited Professor Arora to visit us so that he will be able to interact with the student considering his very long experience and expertise in the area. And this is how we have started. So once Professor Arora visited us, and then we have seen that how this interaction can be made bit more longer. So then our institute has offered him to offer a few courses
Right.
to offer our student. In that, it is a like basic electrical engineering and other courses of electrical power, including high voltage engineering. And as the interaction got longer, then we have decided that why not we write a book which is mainly for the undergraduate students, because professor has written the book which is more towards the research area and for the postgraduate student. So this is how we have started that. And meanwhile, Professor Abdullah also has published a very good course in the NPTEL, which is National Program on Technical Enhanced Learning, which is done by the Government of India, Ministry of Education. So Professor Arora has already developed a basic skeleton of this course, and based on that, we have expanded this, and this book has come up, and mostly it is contributed by Professor Arora.
It's a mutual one, right? Mutual
Yeah.
contribution of both of you. So, sir, Professor Bharat, when did you got this opportunity that I want to write it out? Like, sir told that he got some kind of words from his mentor, from his PhD guide. So, what was that idea that uplifted you to write it out?
Yes, so I have started this teaching high voltage engineering at IIT Mandi, so I was also interested. And when Professor Arora has also given up a thought that we need to write something which is for the undergraduate level students.
Right.
So
Okay.
this is how a thought came up, and then Professor Arora offered me that why not we write combined. So Professor Arora has already made a start in that by offering a NPTEL course, and then slowly we have seen that that is a good start, and then from that we have came up with writing a full book on this subject. Yes.
Okay. We'll surely mention the
I'll
links
just
above.
add
Yeah.
something. When I was in IIT Kanpur and Bharat was doing his PhD, he did my course
Okay.
on high voltage
Right.
in IIT Kanpur, and among something like 35 students, his performance was the best
Okay.
in this subject. And that, of course, that shows the motivation. So he and an interest in the subject, and that is how this book came up.
So I would say he was one of your favorite students.
Yep, very much.
Yeah, very much. Great. So, sir, one thing, you are the senior most faculty, you are the visiting professor over here, right? So, you are teaching a class of 350 students, I just heard. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
first year basic electrical engineering course I've taught here 3 times, and that is a class of something like 350 students. Yeah.
So, how challenging is that at the age of 80? Though you don't look that much, but I'll tell that how challenging it is.
Yes. I had taught in Jodhpur also the same course, but the strength used to be only about 125, but 350 was a
Very
large
big
number.
number.
See one thing, in IIT system, uh, an instructor is assigned such a large course, a large number of students to be taught, but in the system, he is always assisted by other member of faculty as well as teaching assistants. So I was, along with me, with a number of faculty members helping me out, number of teaching assistants helping me out, and that is how we move the child. That is in IIT system.
Okay, the cooperation and harmony you all carry, the
For
support
large,
system.
for large courses, not one single person is a lot. He may be delivering the main lectures, but he's helped for taking tutorials in a smaller batch of students, and then keeping the record, in organizing the assignments and everything. Other faculty members as well as teaching assistants assist, and that is system.
It's like a family which is supporting each
Yes,
other,
very
right?
much. But this is basically for the core courses. For example, now I'm taking a PG level course for 31 students.
Right.
Just one teaching assistant is sufficient.
Right, obviously. Okay. So, sir, at the age of 80, like student, like people generally retire, they want to layer time, they give up from their activities and all that. So, this is something like how do you get the motivation for research or teaching that I want to do it till now and I want to continue it out?
Yeah, thank you for the question. See what I feel. One has to do efforts to keep physically as well as mentally alert.
Right. Hmm.
And with my inside, now I've been trying both. I pursue yoga.
Right.
I'm doing it since last more than 50 years. Yoga every day. Then involved with teaching, involved with the thoughts of new ways of teaching. I was telling him the other day, some new thought has come up. We'll sit down and discuss that, what I've developed by teaching to my students. And I always encourage my students to put question. I tell them, you can put the most silly question you may think it about. But it does give me some incentive to give get the answer, to give the way I may develop, which sometimes may be difficult for others. With my experience, I try to explain it to them, and then I try to incorporate it in my work.
You have great wisdom. So obviously, the exchanging of ideas is beautiful.
Exactly. And interactive class and the books written after the on the basis of the lecture notes
Right.
I have found in my life are the best
Right,
books.
right, right. So I would say that you're an inspiration for both the youth and the age, like coming up.
Exactly. With all my students are my asset.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're an inspiration for
Like
everyone.
Bharat.
Yeah. So everyone is coming, and I want my all the audience to see you and how inspiring your journey is, how beautifully you are doing your work and everything. Okay, so sir, tell us something about the research infrastructure in IIT Mandi. Like the students would like to know about it, and the ones who are planning to come in IIT Mandi, they want to know that what are the facilities and what is the infrastructure over here.
Yes. So I would like to highlight the facilities which are available in our School of Computing and Electrical Engineering.
Okay.
At IIT Mandi has started working in 2010 from Mandi campus, and 2012 onwards we have slowly shifted to the this permanent campus what we are having, and now since last 3 years it is a fully fledged a residential campus with all amenities which are available to the students and the other residents. And in the last uh, 13 years, we have established a very excellent facility in the terms of teaching and research, which includes classroom and then labs also, and the labs other than teaching, which is known as research labs also in most of the areas. And coming to the School of Computing and Electrical Engineering, we are having broadly few domains which include like electrical power, communication and signal processing, computer science, BLSI, photonics, all other areas are also available. These are the major disciplines that we are having. So what we have done, we have established the labs for each of these area, which not only cater the needs of the undergraduate students, but also taking care of the students who are doing the MTech and PhD level.
Right.
So this is how we have established. Now let coming to the one particular area of like electrical power. So in electrical power, we have established very wonderful facilities of the power electronics, electrical machines, electric drives. So these three very state-of-the-art laboratory facilities are there, which is available to us, and which is also used by the, especially by the PG as well as undergraduate students. They are able to perform. So we are able to use these advanced setups for our research, as well as this research based setups are also being given to the undergraduate students level. They are also able to learn what is happening, as well as they are able to see that how whatever theory that they are learning, they are able to learn in the lab setup. The more point that emphasis I would like to give on a important point what we have developed at IIT Mandi is that since beginning, we used a word known as project-based learning or learning by hands-on. So these two things were our motto since beginning. So this is how our labs are also established. So in our labs, it is not only that the someone is going learning a setup and doing some experiment, we also engage our students by doing a projects also, as well as the setups are developed in such a manner that students themselves get engrossed in a very minute level, and they are developing these projects by themselves.
Right.
And during this process, they learn a lot, in which some part of self-study is also coming. So this is how the students learn a theory in that better manner, as well as they are also able to see that how this theory is getting translated at a industry level. So
Right.
it means the skill development of the student is also getting better. So this is what a very wonderful thing what we have done at our campus, and in the majority of the labs is getting developed like that. So this is how we have established a very wonderful way of teaching and learning process, including the lab.
Yeah, I must say, learning by doing the practice, the approach which you have is very important and very useful organ. I would like to say that your campus is really beautiful in the labs of nature, entire labs of the nature,
Yes.
right? So, sir, before I shift your entire discussion to technical part, I would like to ask you, you want to say something to our students, you want to guide them, or something with your wisdom words you want to speak to them. So, one by one, you can just tell something to our students. So, Dr. Vinod, you just start. How you want to guide the students and all?
Guide in the sense.
Like something you want to say to our students, like, okay, the approach to life, or something you want to talk about the academics. So, anything, any beautiful words from your mouth.
Yeah, what I feel with the modern development, the I think it is going to come, and I always feel that reading and learning process. Of course, media is available. A lot of things you click anything, you get a lot of things, but often you are not able to get the best by clicking online and these internet facilities. Referring to standard books, learning by referring to the standard books should be made motive.
Okay, great. And so you want to?
Yes, I would like to highlight since my graduation days to now, the situation has changed very drastically with the development of online teaching resources material, also availability as well as availability of books. So here it becomes a situation here that earlier we are more dependent on the teacher and the very limited resources, and suddenly we are able to see a huge amount of study materials available to us. So during this process, we need to understand that which material is better, as well as how to develop your skill set considering all this material in a very limited time which is available to us. So this is one of the challenge which is now available to us, and most of the teacher in IIT system, they are also able to see that how they will be able to facilitate our students in the best possible manner so that their learning can be done in this new environment very fast. So this is the one important thing. And second important thing that I would like to highlight here, that developing of a skill set is also very important. And skill set is changing with the development of the technology very fast. So if whatever we are learning today may not be very relevant in the coming few months also. So student also should develop a way of learning in a continuously manner for throughout their career also, including the new upcomings development. So that is very important. So it means a way of learning is more important than learning actually.
Right.
So that becomes a very important task nowadays, and I hope that students are able to cope up with this new reality. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
learning is a continuous process.
yeah, this is true.
You
That
learn-
this is shown by your age, like your the way you are doing it now.
You learn how. The day I don't learn a new thing, I sometimes feel the day is gone.
Thought they get wasted, right?
Yeah.
So it is like every day you have to learn something, even if it is a word, that you go ahead and learn something a lot.
And
So
there is no end to it.
yeah, obviously never, because it's a studies and all that, education has never, it's a never ending process.
Yes.
Yeah, so these words would really be helpful to our students. And now I would like to shift to the technical part. So for some technical discussion, Kiraj sir will head on.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. So, Professor Bharat and Professor Aruna. So, my discussion will be totally relevant as per the questionnaires and queries of the student who are currently aspiring for PhD and MTech courses in especially last generation IIT or new generation IIT. So, I keep on interacting with the student, right? So, they have many queries. So the very first thing I want to ask Professor Aruna, because in the better position to answer this thing. See, we all know we need to write GATE exam to enter into master courses, right? So you both might have interviewed a lot of students for master courses. But what I have experienced, even the student who got really great rank in the GATE exam, they are not able to perform really well in the interview. So what might be the reason behind this? Where they are lacking? So are their focus is totally on question solving, or they are not going through the concept?
Can you repeat the question once again?
Question is like that,
I couldn't get your question properly.
there are master courses, there are bachelor courses, there are
Okay.
PhD courses, right?
Okay.
So student need to appear for interviews after qualifying the written exam.
Ah.
So I have seen many students are not able to perform well in the interview, even scoring very great rank in the GATE exam also. So I have interacted with many professors also. So their feedback is like that students have the mindset like they need to improve only the question solving skills. They don't see and understand the design perspective and basically physical application of that concept. So is this thing missing as per your experience or not? This question I
I
want to
get
ask.
your point.
Yeah.
See, very often I've found students not very attentive in the class.
Right.
Even to the senior students, I have to point out that be with me, not with your neighbor
Right.
student.
Right.
They talk among each other, they don't listen to the instructor.
Right.
And there they lack in the learning process.
Okay.
They are not able to get what they can
Okay.
being in 1 hour lecture room.
Right.
And that is how I would say they waste their time. And not only their other students' time.
That's right. Right.
Students should be very attentive because a lecturer,
Okay.
whosoever delivers a lecture,
Right.
he makes a lot of preparation before that. Before coming to we all, when we go to deliver our lecture, we make a lot of preparation.
Right.
And the students don't honor that
Okay.
and they miss the opportunity.
Right.
That is what my humble advice to them. And not another thing. Most recently, and I have to point out, even today, to my students in the class, take notes. Take notes.
Right. Right. Right.
They just sit as if they are sitting in a movie hall. The practice of taking down notes
Right. Right.
is diminishing. I don't know why.
Right.
These are the two tips,
Right.
attentive and taking down notes to my students.
The second thing is that right now in School of Computing and Electrical Engineering, we have various research areas. As you told, signal processing is there, VLSI is there. I guess electric transportation is also there.
Yes.
And some core electrical departments are there.
Yes.
But with the advancement of technologies like AI and ML, somewhere I believe students are distracted a bit. They want to go more towards these. Reason being of the kind of opportunities and the kind of package students are getting. So, but what I believe, being a electrical engineering, having a great core domain knowledge of electrical engineering, we can implement these tools and technology in our own domain, and we can make our own domain much smarter, and much societal issue can be solved. So, what is your take on this as a researcher sitting here in the IT Mandi? Currently, what is the difference in the mindset of the student in today's time, as compared to those students who have completed their PhD or masters, in 2015, 16, when these technologies was not there much.
So, you are right that many students are more interested in computer science, and in computer science also,
Right.
artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, it seems to me that the students are driven by the campus placement or the job opportunities. That is very good. And I also agree with you that if we are having a core domain knowledge,
Right.
and then if we are able to learn these new upcoming technologies or the new development that can be implemented in our applications of core domain knowledge. So that I agree with you, and this is also happening. So the curriculum that we have developed at IIT Mandi, in which we are giving a great flexibility in the students to choose their courses.
Their electives in terms of their
Yes.
future perspective.
In terms of discipline electives, in terms of open electives. So our undergraduate students are, as well as our PG students, they are given a good flexibility in their deciding on that what they would like to learn in addition to their core knowledge. And students are very intelligent and they are utilizing this type of flexibility very much for their benefit. And I think I also agree with the students that they should be given a flexibility as well as a freedom to decide upon that, and students are taking this choice in a very judicial manner, and they always are able to meet the requirement of the industry. So this is what I'm in favor of, that new technology should be there and students are given a window to learn something like that. I would like to also answer your first question. Initially, what we used to have a GATE examination, which is a more subjective way. Later on, as the number of students has increased, the GATE exam got converted into the objective type, where something need to solve and to write as a multiple choice question.
True.
So when we are interacting with the students, which are getting a very good rank, and when they are coming to here, we are able to see that the student who are having a good rank, they are also having a good knowledge, theory knowledge. But the main important point that slowly what we are missing in our engineering education is that engineering education is just not to be taught by the books or the theory. A good practical hands-on experience is very much important, which is being practiced till now in few countries like Germany, UK, and Japan, where they are using a word known as apprenticeship, where the students, whatever they are learning in theory, they are doing hands-on, and they are able to learn a between the lines of the theory books. And this is how the actual knowledge is getting translated, which is known as technical education. So with the opening up of very good number of institutions across the India, somehow we are able to see that the theory part is still very strong, but the practical aspects are getting new. So when we are interacting with the students who have got a very good marks in the theory, but when we are interacting with the students with good grades in the theory, but talking about some practical relevance of this theory, here we are able to see that there is a lag is there. So my suggestion, in addition to what Professor Rola has said, that other than attentiveness in the classroom, you need to learn more about the practical aspects of the theory that you are learning, and that will come with the interaction with your seniors, with your teachers, with your lab experiences. So with this engineering knowledge, you will be successful whether you are going for higher education, MTech or PhD, or it could be any industry. And this is how we will be able to get more skill set and a difference between the academics and the skill set required in the industry can be really huge.
Okay, so for all the specialization which comes under the School of Computing and Electrical Engineering, do we have internship opportunity
Yes.
for master student?
Yes. So for our master, we are having 2 years of program, means 4 semester program is there for MTech students, and for PhD student, the duration is generally from 4 to 5 years. The students are allowed to go for 6 months or even beyond internship, or to visit to any industry where they can do their internship as well as part of their MTech thesis or PhD thesis also.
So, sir, is it open to all, or you basically select some shortlisted candidate?
This is the system is like that. This is a two-way approach. Sometimes few industry approaches us. They are offering internship. Their students apply and they go there. Sometimes student also able to see that this particular industry they are interested, so that they will be able to get a practical hands-on or more industrial knowledge. So both ways are possible. Students themselves are also doing, faculty members are helping them, or sometimes companies are also approaching us. Yes.
And second thing, sir, I want to ask you about today's world, especially. People have more interest towards the electric mobility,
Yes.
electric vehicle domain
Yes.
because of its market demand and needs,
Yes.
right? But as of now, various IIT Delhi is having courses. Other IITs are, I guess IIT Kanpur also has a course.
Yes.
So do IIT Mandi have some such kind of courses?
Yes. So at IIT Mandi, we are having two such programs. One is known as MTech in Power Electronics and Electric Drives, which is more on the machines and how the electric drives are working, whether it is any industrial application or whether it is a electrical vehicles. And second program we have with us known as MTech in Electrical Transportation, which is more focused program on the electrical transportation or e-mobility, which is very much upcoming and very fast pace it is going on. So we are having two dedicated programs for this, and we are able to see our MTech Autonomics and Drive have started somewhere in 2017, and our students are getting a very good placement in companies which is more related to the e-mobility and in core industries they are doing. Our MTech electrical transportation is currently in the second year. So from this year onwards, our students are going to graduate.
So, sir, if we talk about the placement scenario, do we allow all the specialization to sit for the companies, or it depend upon the requirement of companies?
It depends on the requirement of the company that which streams they are interested. Some of the companies which are more in software or IT company, they are open to most of the domains wherever the students are having skill set, they can be considering for that jobs.
So right now in our Indian education system, there are basically two mode of enrollment for the PhD. One is student can enroll directly after the BTech, which we call the direct PhD, and other is obviously after your MTech. So what I believe, if some student is going after MTech, he already have some preliminary experience of the research during his thesis and dissertation, right? But when student is directly going after BTech, so that thing is missing there. That factor is missing there, right? So as a researcher, as a faculty, as a mentor, as a professor, at least what are your expectations from the person who is coming or who is approaching you for the research?
So what we are able to see that some of the very brilliant students who have just done a BTech and would like to do a PhD, they are very focused, right? And they are doing some extra courses at the institution because they have not done the masters. And during this process, they also learn more about the higher end courses, and in which by doing few projects also they are getting a research experience.
So these courses are a part of PhD program, or
Yes,
they are separate?
they are part of PhD program. For example, for MTech student, they need to do 12 credits, which means 3 to 4 courses.
Right.
And if someone is from BTech, they need to do 25 credits. So it is almost like double of the courses. So during this coursework, the BTech student, the direct BTech student who are coming for the PhD, they also learn many things and they start doing their PhD. But they are so focused, we are able to see these students are very focused and they are also able to do very good work. MTech students, their knowledge is getting specialized as well as their knowledge base is also getting bit more diverse. So in that manner, their research is, so it means you can see this is a different requirements, different set of students are there, there are different categories there, and both of the type of student they excel in their career if they are able to continue to work well.
Professor Arora, my next question is for you, please. So today, most of the aspiring researcher ask this question. Sir, will we getting placement after PhD? It seems illogical to me also that how you can anticipate after 5-6 years what's going to happen. So what is your take and what is your basically guidance for those kind of students, because they will be definitely watching this video, because many students want to start their PhD journey directly after BTech only. But at the same time, they are worried that whether we will be getting good career perspective once we complete the PhD. So what should be their mindset?
To the best of my knowledge, our PhD students are very well absorbed at present. Right? It might not have been so good earlier. When I started my career in IIT Kanpur as member of faculty in 1974, there used to be hardly 2, 3 PhD students in the department. Today, the number is very large, but still they are getting very good opportunities for job. Right. Another thing I have always motivated my students, especially the PhD students, that one of the best career, in my opinion, is teaching profession.
True. It's a noble profession.
Is it? Yeah, and they should feel, they should willfully adopt that as a career. Many of the students, even today, do not want to be teacher.
You are very true. You are very true.
I have 2 sons, both graduated from IIT Kanpur. I couldn't motivate them to be teacher, but I do try my students to be a teacher.
Right. So my last question is for both of you that today we are observing that some core branches like power system, even if I compare two branches, power system and power electronics, if I provide an opportunity, an option, the student will directly go with power electronics. Might be because of its application, they are finding an electric vehicle or some other domains. So they are somewhere negligent to go with the core domains. Some branches like electrical materials, metallurgy, these branches students are not that much interested to join. Willingly they are not willing to join. Forcefully for the sake of tag of IIT they might join. But that willingness is not there. So, how these branches can contribute in the development of a career of a person. What kind of a placement opportunity one can expect? Is it good to go with these kind of courses if somebody is looking for only industry options?
Yes, I agree with you. The students' interests are also coming with a good placement, right? But we are also able to see that how our country has progressed in last 2 decades, right? A good number of research and development opportunities are also coming, right? And especially for the PhD student. Earlier, we used to have a only that if you want to do a R&D, you need to go to either few government sector labs or few academic positions only, but good number of private opportunities, private companies are there who have started R&D. So we are able to see good opportunities are coming for the PhD scholar. Right. In addition to that, few of the domains which are very much in demand where good salaries are available. Obviously, the students are interested in that. So that one of the area which you have mentioned is electrical vehicles and electronics is very important area to that. But we are also able to see that other core branches, they are also continuously evolving. Right? They are also continuously evolving their teaching and project work so that they are also very much relevant with the new development. Right? So this process is simultaneously also happening.
So your take on this?
Yeah, I just want to add that people may think that in the power system there's not been much advancement and changes, but it's not a fact. There has been so much of change, even in the power system. When we static work, compensation, series compensation of transmission line, there's so much of electronics and power electronics involved with it. So even in the power system, there is advancement. One shouldn't think that their power system is finished. No, that is a wrong concept.
So that is the purpose of these interactions basically. Students should get to know these points. Yes. What they are doing, whatever raw and basic knowledge they have at the BTech level, they are making their decision on that basis only.
Glamour.
Right.
I mean, people at the undergraduate level go more for the glamorous
Right,
branch.
true.
It doesn't mean that other branches no scope of work is left.
Right.
There's lot of scope.
Yes, I agree with you. Many people in my surrounding all they are doing really great even in the material branch.
Yes,
Right. See, there is space for
that's
all
the
branches.
basic.
You come, you show your creativity. Doesn't matter whether you are doing it in power electronics, you are doing it in the power system.
Yes.
Right? I agree with you. So thank you so much for your time. So it was really great, and you shared your valuable experiences and insights on your area of specialization. So anything else in brief you want to share with our viewers that this you need to keep in mind if you are aspiring candidate for masters and PhD, please.
Yes. So I wish very best for their career as well as they are planning to go for a higher education. I always wanted to highlight to the students that please see that how you will be able to make your career by acquiring more and more skill set, whether it is soft or whether it is a core based. So please focus on a development of the skill set which is very relevant in the industry and always try to see that what the industry is doing, what is their requirement, and based on that you develop your skill set in your.
I would like to endorse that, what Bharat just said. Their development is continuously going on.
And it will go on.
It will keep on going.
Yeah.
And it is up to the individuals to keep abreast with the modern development. That comes with the quest for learning.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So we have some